Hey, it's Patrick from J&P Cycles. We're going to show you how to change the engine oil on our 2019 Fat Bob. This is going to be basically the same for all the Milwaukee 8 powered Softails. You're not going to need too many wrenches. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the dipstick loose here. That's going to allow us, when we drain it, to kind of draw through nice so nothing gets kind of vacuum locked. Then we're going to go around to the clutch side of the bike. Underneath, facing back, is going to be a bolt. That's our oil drain. Let's get to work. Okay, so before we put our drain plug back in, I like to inspect the top of it here. It's got a little magnet on it, and see if there's any metal shavings on there. If there are some significant metal shavings on there, you have a bigger problem. The other thing is this O-ring. You want to make sure it's in really good shape before you put that back on there. If it's torn or something, you don't want it to leak when you put this back on there. You have to drain all your fresh oil out. You can see there's a little bit of thread locker on ours. Generally, if the O-ring is in good shape or I'm using a new O-ring, I don't really worry too much about thread locker, but you could put a little bit of some sort of Teflon-based thread locker on there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the drain plug back in. We're gonna torque it anywhere from 14 to 21 foot-pounds. Then we're gonna take our oil filter wrench and take our oil filter off. So it's best to have oil filter wrench to get this oil filter off. I'll put a link in for this tool. But also, this generally makes a mess here, and there's a million different ways you guys say to put aluminum foil in there and paper plates. I always end up with a mess one way or the other. We're gonna attempt a paper plate here, but we're gonna take this oil filter off and clean up our mess. Now we're gonna put our filter on. A couple of things. This bike takes 4 quarts of oil. I'm gonna take one of those 4 and I'm gonna preload this filter about as much as I can get in here, 3/4 or so without dumping it all over the place. Also put a little bit of oil around the O-ring. When you put this on, the manual says that when this rubber O-ring touches in there, go about 3/4 of a turn hand tight. It's actually kind of difficult to get your hand in there. If you end up using that oil filter wrench on here, be very careful not to over tighten this. So basically 3/4 of a turn after it touches my hand, and you're gonna be in good shape. Okay, our drain plug's back in, our new filter's on. We're gonna take the rest of our oil, which should total 4 quarts, and fill this up. And then to check it, we need to take it off the lift. If you're doing this on a lift, the bike needs to be on the Jiffy stand, AKA kickstand, to truly get a good check. And I like to run it for about 1 to 2 minutes and then check it on the hot level. So we'll fill this up, pull it off here, run it for 1 or 2 minutes, and then check the oil level. Now that the bike's good and warmed up, we can check the level. Just like that, we're ready to go ride. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop us a comment and go work on those motorcycles.